Hello everyone, welcome back to Stretford Paddock. My name is Howson. Today I'm joined by Geert Langendorff and we will be talking about Donny Van De Beek. One, how this deal happened so fast, how it flew under the radar, a little bit about what he's like as a player, his recent development and how he expects him to fit in at Manchester United. Geert, thank you for joining me. How are you this morning?
I'm quite well, thank you. Still bank holiday, so still taking it easy.
Let's kick off with this. So it looks like a £40 million deal for Donny Van De Beek. What have you made about this deal and how has it happened so quickly? Because yesterday morning, this was just another rumour, and by yesterday evening, all but done, completed and on the pitch with a scarf.
True. The way I understand is that Solskjaer had a phone call with Donny Van De Beek on Friday. And he told them how impressed he was, and that he would like to get him to, would like him to come to Old Trafford. He was very keen to go. At that moment in time, there weren't any other suitors. Real Madrid and Barcelona, who were both keen to get him at some point, were no longer bidding, and United seemed to be in pole position, and that was until yesterday, because suddenly, out of the blue, Tottenham Hotspur wanted to hijack the deal, and as I understand it, Paris Saint-Germain as well. So two big top clubs wanted to sign him as well, and then they just did the deal very quickly.
Right, okay, that makes a bit more sense as to how this kind of came about then, because it did seem to just almost accelerate out of nowhere. What do you make of the fee? Because when you see some of the fees that's been quoted around for, perhaps even Jack Grealish, a player that plays in a similar sort of role, a similar probably ability, looking at twice as much money. 40 million seems an absolute steal. Why is it such a low price?
Well, he did have some kind of agreement with Ajax. If he were to stay another season at Ajax, they would let him go for more or less this amount of money. So he knew he could leave for more or less £40 million, give or take it. Even a little bit less. I'm pretty sure that Ajax would have happily let him go for probably 30 or 35. But but as you say, it definitely is a steal.
We saw him feature majorly in Ajax's Champions League run recently. He's also an extremely versatile midfielder. We've seen him play in the 6, you've seen him play bit box to box, occasionally popping up in the number 10. Where do you think Manchester United have him pinned down to be playing, and do you expect him to be starting for Manchester United or more of a rotational option?
What I heard from his agent is that Solskjaer sees him more or less as an understudy for Fernandes on 10, and as a backup holding midfielder, possibly the Pogba position. So I think he has to focus on those two positions, but in his first season, he will have to come off the bench. I don't see him as a starter yet. I don't think Solskjaer sees him straight away as a starter either. So those two positions, at Ajax, he was more or less a 10, but not as versatile, I'd say, as Fernandes. He's not as quick, but he's very good. As you know from the Champions League, he's a very good passer. He knows how to find a player in behind, and he can score a goal as well. But as far as holding midfielders go, I'd say Frankie de Jong is probably slightly better still, and Matic and Pogba on those positions obviously as well. So I think he needs to work on his game, both his end product and his defensive skills. So that will be pretty much a major task for him to prove to Solskjaer that he can actually fit the bill for United, because I have to admit that he was brilliant, especially 2 seasons ago in the Champions League when I had that amazing run. But all in all, there is a reason he doesn't start for the Dutch national team. There's always a bit of doubt still of his ability, and that's probably why he was bought as an understudy and not yet as a starter. So, and that's of course when the price comes into play as well. It is a steal, but then again, for an understudy, probably quite right.
the style of player that he is, as you mentioned, he's got fantastic spatial awareness. He's got wonderful vision, and he's got a wonderful range of passing. I think he's got fantastic level of work rate as well. And I think work rate goes a long way. But I am worried about his size a little bit, if I'm being honest. Do you think he can handle, firstly, the intensity of the Premier League? We've seen him perform quite well against English opposition in Europe, but do you think he can handle the intensity of the Premier League? And do you think his size will be an issue, or do you think he'll adapt quickly and be fine?
Well, I do understand your worry because he's not the tallest, he's not the biggest. He's no McTominay, for example, who's more or less like a fridge, whereas Donny Van De Beek is probably slightly slimmer, but he's strong and he learns really quickly. I remember seeing him play at the age of 16. It was a future tournament I think it was the future tournament at the Toekomst, Ajax's academy, and I just watched him play for about 3 minutes, and I was immediately in awe of that guy because the way he managed to make a goal, just pick the pass. It was absolutely brilliant. So I asked someone there, like, who is that guy? He said, well, that's Donny Van De Beek, and Frank de Boer absolutely loves him. He sees him as a potential superstar. Obviously, he still needs to grow a little bit. He needs to bulk up, but believe me, he will be a future star. And at the time, people already spoke very highly of his work rate. So in terms of adaptability to the Premier League, I'd say give the guy about 3 or 4 months, and he'll be fine because he is that kind of guy, and he's basically never stopped since he was given a chance by Frank de Boer in Ajax's first team, and he's still improving. Frankie de Jong obviously developed a lot quicker, but yeah, he seems to be a bit of a slow burner. But a slow developer. But when he does, he will kick on. That's more or less the opinion I have at Ajax as well.
Do you think the relationship between Edwin van der Sar and Manchester United played a part in this deal going through?
Oh, most definitely. It's no secret that Man United contacted Van der Sar a couple of months ago. I think it was in May, to see what his contract status was, and more particularly what the situation with Real Madrid was, because they were more or less given the first right to sign him up. There was more or less an agreement in place. All that had to do was activate it, and so they were just waiting in the wings in case the deal with Madrid collapsed, which it did eventually because of COVID, because of the lack of funds there, and so there seemed to be some kind of gentleman's agreement with Edwin van der Sar and Solskjaer. Like, all right, he's free now. Please go. I wouldn't be surprised if I phone him up. Like, yeah, this is the right time to buy him. If you want him, go for it.
Yeah, it did seem like we said at the start of the interview. Actually, the speed at which Manchester United seemingly acted was actually very impressive. What do you know of Manchester United's remaining transfer business for this window, if anything?
I was actually quite surprised to see Donny Van De Beek go, because I actually thought that Jack Grealish would be their top priority. So this would kind of imply that that Grealish will either stay at Aston Villa or perhaps go to another club where first team football is more or less a guarantee, because he would be coming off the bench at United as well. Obviously, and what I'm guessing is they still need a defender, but on top of that, they need to offload quite a few midfielders. So for me, that will be the first thing to look at. Will Pereira go? Will Fred go? Will Lingard finally go? What are they going to do with Daniel James? Once the size of the squad is more or less in place for new incoming players, that's when I'd be looking at their transfer business. But right now, I'd say a centre half is probably going to come in, and if one or two midfielders will be leaving, maybe an addition there, and maybe up front if they can.
Yeah, I agree. There's several areas United need to go for, and I think the capture of Donny Van De Beek's a great start to the window, albeit a little bit later than a lot of our fans would have appreciated. But it is a great start to it. I don't quite think he's the the direct first choice 11 improvement that everyone's clamouring for, like perhaps a Sancho might have been, or like I said, a big centre half might have also been. But I do expect him to be quite shrewd business. He's a good technical player that we've got, one that I can certainly see fitting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system in a couple of different places. As I said, versatility, vision, he's all there with him. Very good player. Gerd, give us your verdict. Are we expecting to see Donny Van De Beek succeed or flop at Manchester United?
That's a difficult one. I'm going to say success because there will be plenty of games this season for him to shine in. You've got the League Cup, you've got the FA Cup, and obviously you've got European football as well. That's where he needs to take his chance, and I'm fully confident that he will succeed and prove himself to be the player that Solskjaer thinks he is. And it would be great for United and great for Dutch football as well, because we need a superstar again at one of them clubs. United is obviously a special club for us, with Jaap Stam's history there, with Van Persie's history there, and obviously Edwin van der Sar. So can only hope for the best.
All right, Gert, thank you very much for joining us. Let's hope we have got a cracker, and let's hope he is an absolute success. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.
All right. Cheers.